You have reached Imperial Sports. Today will be a prediction between Wilder, Deontay, the Bronze Bomber, Wilder versus Lewis, King Kong Ortiz. Let's get into it. So I've been following both fighters for years, and um, Deontay Wilder doesn't get enough credit of his position, his attributes, the excitement that he brought back to the heavyweight division. Not single-handedly by itself. However, the excitement of him knocking guys out started to bring the attention back to the heavyweight division. You don't hear a lot of commentators or YouTube bloggers. You don't hear them bigging him up on that. You got people that big him up that rock with Deontay Wilder all day, but I don't hear that. He brought the heavyweight, in my opinion, he brought the heavyweight division back. And he brought it back in the fold and where people were interested about the heavyweight division. Because the heavyweight division, after Lennox Lewis and Vitaly, I think it was, or Vladimir, I think it's Vitaly though, Klitschko, after that fight, and then they was saying it should have been they stopped the fight because of a cut, and then they never did the rematch. After that, that was like really the last excitement left in the division, and then the other Klitschko, Vladimir, whatever his name is, he dominated the division for the next 10 years or so until he got beat by Tyson Fury. And but the division was weak. It was weak. You had some bright spots come along that you thought was going to do something. You had Samuel Peters that you thought was going to do something. He finally fought Klitschko. He got dropped off. You had what was the other guy? Chris Arreola. You thought he might have done something at first. He finally fought Klitschko. He got dropped off. So you had some fighters that might have came and you thought was going to do something and they didn't. So Klitschko pretty much dominated. And that's a testament to a man you stored teaching Klitschko at his size how to make his jab a weapon like Lennox Lewis. And he basically just dominated off of the jab. Boring fights and, dominated off of the jab. And then somewhere along the line, Deontay Wilder started surfacing, knocking people out. This skinny kid with broad shoulders with a heck of a punch, knocking jokers smooth out, and it started to bring the excitement back to the division. And then I think I seen him. He fought Stavern 1, and he went the distance, and it showed that he had some boxing skill there. See, you get these boxing guys that's like real technical, so they start breaking down. Oh, look at his movement and all that. Man, these jokers out here trying to fight and take each other's head off and try to win. Ain't nobody looking at all that technical stuff. You want to win or lose. If a joker get outboxed, well, he got to go back to the drawing board. So then as the division is starting to resurface, you got Tyson Fury who beat Klitschko, but nobody really paid attention to that because it was like, it's Klitschko. Like, he already dominated for so long. And then this Tyson Fury guy won. And then it was like he fell off the map after that. Deontay Wilder started to develop buzz. Then you had other heavyweights that started to do their thing or whatever. I didn't know who Anthony Joshua was until he beat Klitschko and won. And then, I got respect for him because he got dropped, he got up, came back, and won that fight. So, or whatever. And then you had Luis Ortiz he was having his own path, and I was liking him from afar. Like, he was knocking jokers out too. And King Kong right there. And nobody would really want to fight him. And everybody that was fighting was getting dropped off. Then finally came Joshua and them didn't want no parts of King Kong. Wilder stood up to the plate and said, we get it on. Ortiz failed the drug test. You know, he said from high blood pressure medicine. Wilder still gave him another shot. They finally fought. Now at this time, I like both fighters. I'm like, man, wait, may the best person win. Ortiz was winning that fight, in my opinion, on the scorecards. But then you had Wilder had already caught him. Early in like the first 4 rounds, somewhere he caught him and dropped him. He got up, but that punch, he didn't forget. He was probably mild concussed at that moment. Then fight went on. 7th round came. Wilder swung, got lazy. Ortiz countered him and caught him. Stunned him. But Wilder looked like a damn giant in there. That, like when you see Wilder sit down at the, in between breaks, they bring the tall chair and he just sit back and he like Goliath sitting over there. And Ortiz gave it all his all in that 7th round. And at the end of the match, he never got the drop on Wilder. And Wilder at the end walked over his corner, shook it off. He was slow getting over because he definitely know he got whooped that round. But I said then, if Wilder recovers, Ortiz just punched himself out because he gave it his all in that 7th round. And he still couldn't beat him. And 8th round came. Wilder came out. He shook it off. It was just a kind of like a chill round, And I said, okay, Wilder got that second gear. He got that second win. And Ortiz really didn't have much in that round. I said, definitely Ortiz punched himself out. So, 9th round came. Boom. It showed it. Now Wilder got that second gear. Wilder toasted him, and Ortiz was gassed. He was done. You know what I'm saying? End of the fight. End of the match. I believe he was concussed. I don't know if that ever came out, but I think Ortiz was concussed from that fight. And so that brings us to date. Wilder versus Ortiz 2. Who do I think is going to win? Now, we've seen Stavern and Wilder 2, and Wilder came out the first round fully energized and obliterated Stavern completely. Now, I don't believe that's going to be the same result with Ortiz, but I believe Wilder's going to get Ortiz out of there within the first 4 rounds. Within the first 4 rounds, Wilder's going to get Ortiz out there. Now, you got pictures surfacing. Ortiz looks shredded. He's in complete shape. And he's worked on his endurance. So he, in his mind, he gassed out. He need to be able to go longer if need be. He need to be able to tap into something to go the extra mile. Because if he would have duplicated round 8 in that first fight, like he did in 7, I think Wilder would have got out of there. He could have probably got out of there because there's no way you could take it. But he was gassed, so he had to recuperate in round 8, or whatever. But that don't mean because you did all this conditioning, it's going, fight is a fight. You get gassed, you know what I'm saying? So, he shredded, but if that's equivalent to a person that's always in shape all the time. All they got to do preparing for a fight is they have to just work on their technique and work on their skill set. If you're working on conditioning, you're if you're working on conditioning, that takes away from you working on how to beat this man. You just thinking, if I get in shape, shred it, I'm gonna do better. Now, I will say this: fight one, their game plan was to take away Wilder's right hand, and how he fought him on angles where Wilder couldn't get that right hand off too much. It only was when they got engaged a little bit, then Wilder could get that right hand in or whatever. So, Wilder has a raw background, so he wasn't really taught the fundamentals. And I guess at this age, it's kind of hard, to try to can't teach an old dog new tricks, that type of situation. However, if Wilder had Lennox Lewis, a Klitschko type jab at his height and size, the heavyweight division, they already have been served notice and they fear Wilder. Just off of his cannon that he has in his right hand, that power he has. That alone. But if he had a jab, he would be unbeatable. Reason why people don't look at him as unbeatable right now is because if they can avoid getting punched or getting a good shot from Wilder, then they can survive. I.e. Wilder versus Fury. Fury took him to school with a boxing lesson, and he evaded those punches. But what it also showed, he evaded those punches and he outboxed Wilder, because this is boxing. What it also showed is that if he catch you, what can happen? So he caught Fury twice. Fury got up the first time, shook it off. But that last time, everybody thought he was out. I didn't even see that coming. It was like, black, black. And Fury dropped, eyes rolled in the back of his head. Most of the time, the ref would have ran over, looked at him, and waved that off. Like, you out of it, dog. Picked his head up, took the mouthpiece out. But he didn't. He gave him time. And then he jumped up. And then at that point, Wilder was gassed. So he couldn't put the pressure on Fury no more to duplicate. He was 12th round, he was gassed out or whatever. Now, if Wilder had another gear at that moment, he could have went over there and just dogged Fury, because he was out of it pretty much. But Fury weathered the storm, and here comes the draw. So I think the draw was warranted. With the 2 knockdowns by Wilder helped him. And so now once again, I already gave my prediction. I believe Wilder will get Ortiz out of within the first 4 rounds. I can't see it going the distance. And I don't really see Ortiz beating Wilder, unless, only way I can see that happen, if Ortiz weathers the storm, Wilder can't catch him with no punch, and he take him the full 12 rounds. If he take Wilder the full 12 rounds, I don't know if I could see Wilder winning a decision or whatever. So I believe Wilder's going to get him out of there the first 4 rounds. Ortiz, last time he fought was like a year ago. He's not real active, and he looked like crap. So maybe, you can hear people say, well, styles make fights, and sometimes people play down to their competition. But when he fought last year, he didn't look good at all. He didn't look good at all. And I said, ugh. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he wasn't motivated or whatever. And the Ortiz was supposed to fight Joshua at one point, and he didn't, for whatever reason. Thought he's supposed to get more money. Man, fight that man. Get it in there. Fight that man or whatever. And look what happened. Andy Ruiz went in there, dropped Josh off, and he got the belts. I know Ruiz looking at that. Ortiz looking at that and saying, damn, that could have been me, you know. So this fight should be entertaining. Can't see it going the distance. Once again, fight prediction: Wilder within the first 4 rounds. If you get a hold of this video and listen, I'm trying to build the content on the sports channel. Subscribe, help me build a channel. More content to come, especially once my channel start to build. That ain't, motivate me more to do more sports videos, because I'm heavy in the sports and or whatever. I always got something to say about the sports. So like this video, definitely subscribe, leave a comment on your predictions. Till the next time.